Welcome to the Crystal Ball Hour here on KUHS Denver, the stream, my favorite radio station. How are you doing out there, everyone? This is Elisa from the Dr. Elisa Show, and I have to tell you, I woke up feeling fairly psychic this morning and a bit playful and a bit romantic. So I'm going to put those three things together for you today here on the show. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a fun Valentine's Day, and this is just going to be a great follow-up to that. So, if you'd like to chat with me, you can. You can go to the Facebook site and watch live and message me on KUHS Denver, or KUHS Radio TV Denver. You can message me live there. You can go to the Dr. Elisa Show on Facebook and message me live there. And guess what? You can text me live in the studio. That number is a number I always forget, but I can read it to you. 720-386-0513. And you can text me there with your love questions. And today's show is all about love. A little astrology, might throw some tarot cards in, you never know. And yes, as always, I travel with my crystal balls. 3 of them today, not all 4 of them. One of them felt like staying home. So, tell me, how was your Valentine's Day? A bit different this year than perhaps last year. Might have been better. You may have had a Valentine this year. I did. Isn't that exciting? But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. This has been a year, though, where so many of my clients have said to me that they feel like they're kind of reeling emotionally from this past year. They're kind of whirling and swirling, and they don't know where their emotions are. They don't know if they're on the upside of the roller coaster or the downside, or maybe the ride's almost over. And I think emotionally, so many of us are feeling like that. What exactly is going on and where am I? So I think that for many of us, because of that, Valentine's Day was just a little more stressful or a little unusual, or maybe just not what we've normally had or expected. I actually have had people say to me that they're in a relationship and they don't know how they feel. You know what? That's not unusual. Some of my clients have said, I know how I feel, but I don't know that I can say anything. Because last year, so much of what we said to each other got confused or misinterpreted or blown out of proportion. It was tiring, wasn't it? Just a tiring time. And yet, here we are, we're coming into spring. You can tell it in Colorado because today it's above 0. We've definitely had some brutal chill days there. And yeah, it's snowing, I know, but you know, early springtime is when we get most of our snow in Colorado. But the days are slowly getting longer. And it feels like we're coming just out of that path from the dark woods, and there's a little bit more light showing. So whatever your Valentine's Day was like, whatever was going on for you, let's see if we can make some sense of it today. Let's see if we can take ourselves in this positive direction, because love is in the air. And yeah, it's been confusing, but it's not going to stay that way. So I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. Again, you can message me, which is always amazing to me when I get the technology actually working here. There we go. And you can text me in the studio live, and I can do readings. But if you call just to listen, that's okay too. Let me tell you what's going on astrologically today. So today, by the way, is one of my last shows like this, unless you love it. If you love crystal balls, if you'd like me to do a show on tarot readings, if you'd like, we're going to start doing specials here in KUHS instead of a regular crystal ball hour. So if you like the show, if you like the psychic readings, and you promise in the future to message me so I can read for you, let the station owner know. Send Henry Archuleta a message that you like this show. I will be still doing the Dr. Elisa show every other Thursday, and occasionally I'll throw some astrology in there. And this show might just show up, randomly for special occasions. And if you're having a special occasion, you could let us know, and maybe the show will show up for you. Anyway, what is going on astrologically right now? We have 5 planets in Aquarius. So remember last year, 2020, I kept talking about the major planets in Capricorn. And we love Capricorns, don't we? We'll talk more about that in a minute. But sometimes Capricorns can get stubborn and not want to change and hang on to old ways. Well, 2 of those planets, Saturn and Jupiter, moved into Aquarius the end of December. Right now, joining them, the Sun is still in Aquarius, Venus is in Aquarius, Mercury is in Aquarius, though retrograde. That's a lot of Aquarius energy. As you know, I'm a double Aquarius. I love that energy, but even so, it can be intense, but intense in the way of opening up doors in front of us. And I think that is the love message for right now. For this month, this Valentine's Day, doors are opening, opportunities are coming. Expect the unexpected. Instantaneous transformation. Things that change. New ideas. Love is in the air for all of us, but in different sort of sparkling ways. Let me know if that resonates for you this year. I know, it's been a hard year, right? Like, who could start dating? Well, I did. So, and a lot of my clients did. It's possible. What I want to go into today is a little bit about how love has changed for you. Also talk about maybe how our ideas about what love is has changed. And then I want to go through the astrological signs and talk to you about each sign and maybe where they match well. But here's the key. You might be, I don't know, a Scorpio out there and think, she's an Aquarius. Scorpios and Aquarians never get along. But I have a Scorpio rising. I have Scorpio in my chart. I have a lot of Cancer in my chart. I have some interesting Aries in my chart. We all have other elements in our chart. So when we talk just about the sun sign, we're missing the great wealth of the tapestry of astrology, which is why the best called a synergy chart, or we can actually run a composite chart, which is a chart of just how the relationship, the sort of the life and breath of the relationship itself. Hopefully all of that makes sense. So it's much more than your sun sign. I've said that over and over again. It's also your moon sign. It's also Venus. It's also your 7th and 8th houses. 7th house is the house of contractual relationships, which does include marriage, believe it or not. 8th house, soul level connections, sexual relationships. Marriage can fall under there too. So what I believe has changed for people more than anything this year around love is their idea of what love is. Were you lonely this year? That happened to many of us. Do you worry that you've met someone and maybe you are with them because you don't want to be lonely and you can't tell? That's a challenging question, isn't it? Do I like this person because I don't want to be lonely? Or do I like them because I like them? Maybe you've been in a relationship and you were in isolation together for a long time and shut down for a long time, and that person now blinks too loudly and chews too loudly and you're just over it. Or maybe the same scenario, but you also in that process discovered that love looks different. And I think that that's the key to this whole past year, is love looks different. We went from a Capricorn year to an Aquarian year. Love looks different. I've told this story before on my show. And I want to tell it again because I so very much believe that this is a great story about how love has changed. And I just keep checking Facebook here and text messages to see if you're interested in chatting with me. Okay, you've heard the story before, but I'm going to tell it again. Well, maybe not. You might be new to my show. So there was a beautiful young woman who was looking for a match, and she was heartfelt and kind and generous, everything anyone would want, and she was beautiful. And a matchmaker brought her to a meeting, and the matchmaker praised the young man that she was going to meet, that smart and kind, and he was generous and heartfelt and loved everything she loved. She walked into the room full of expectation and saw him, and he was a hunchback. And she excused herself momentarily and walked back out of the room and said to the matchmaker, "What are you thinking? He can't be the one I'm supposed to be with." And the matchmaker said, "Just sit and talk to him. And in fact, even close your eyes. Listen to his voice." So she did. And he had a beautiful voice. And he said wonderful things, and they talked and they laughed, and they found they were so good for each other. But when she'd open her eyes, she would see the hunchback, and she just was not sure what to do. And finally, this young man looked at her and said, "I want to tell you a story. Before we were born, our souls met. Wherever souls meet before they incarnate. And we knew that we would meet, and we knew that we should be together. And you incarnated, and you were sort of just right before either of us sort of went our ways. The guides there, the spirits said to me, when you meet her, just so you know, she's going to be a hunchback. And I looked at your beautiful soul and I went, no. It's hard enough for a woman in this world. In fact, it'll be hard for her to be beautiful and be able to decide who loves her. But don't make her a hunchback. Make me the hunchback. And when we meet, trust me, I will help her remember what love is really about." And in that, the young woman did remember what love was truly about and agreed to marry him. I don't do happily ever afters, right? I do, and life continues, ever afters. I love that story because so often our eyes lead us astray. We expected somebody to be something and they're not. Carolyn, wow, you just messaged in. If you'd like a reading, what I need is just a question. I forgot that part, right? So Carolyn, if you're listening, I'd love to give you a reading. Message me a question. So it gives me a place to focus, and it also gives me permission. So message me back. Thank you for getting us started. And while I'm waiting for that, let's move on to a little bit of a little more love chat and then some astrology, right? So that story make you feel like you have a soulmate. And you might have a soulmate, but you may not marry that person. Many people, their soulmate is their best friend. I've had people swear to me their soulmate is an animal, their dog or their cat or their horse. Soulmates aren't necessarily someone we marry, and in fact, the need to have the person we're with be everything. Our best friend, our soulmate, our confidant, our lover, our everything puts so much pressure on a relationship. But often that is what cracks it. That craving for everything that we've heard in romantic stories. If you're a woman and you're with a guy, keep your woman friends. If you're a guy and you're with a woman, keep your guy friends. If you're somewhere else on that spectrum, non-binary, LGBTQ, wherever you are, keep your own friends. Keep your own life. Because it builds richness into that relationship. And your soulmate may not be the one you're married to, and your twin flame may certainly not be the one you're married to. Because love looks different now. Our eyes are opening up and we're starting to recognize what love is. So Carolyn, text me back a question so I can do a reading for you. I'm just going to check and see if there's anybody in the Facebook site. Nobody there yet. Okay. And by the way, in case you're wondering, we're also, KUHS Denver is also live on Twitter. We are just live everywhere. Okay. So while I'm waiting to hear back from Carolyn, let's go through the signs. Now remember, when I talk about an astrological sign and what they're like in love, that's a little, I'm talking about the sun sign, but it could be their moon sign. And just because I say this sign and that sign not so good together, that may not be true in your relationship. You've got to look at the whole chart. So that's my sort of disclaimer here for what we're talking about. Let's start with Aries, just because Aries is usually the first sign of the zodiac. We're right now in Aquarius. Actually, we're moving into Pisces. And we're going to move back here. Okay, I'm just checking my technology here. All right. So, we'll be moving into Aries in the springtime. Aries is known for their fiery energy, their exciting impulsivity. They've got desire for life. They're a lovely, lovely, lovely sign. It really is. And dating an Aries can be wonderful and lovely if you're ready for that fierceness of it, that aliveness of it, that unstoppable kind of warrior energy. And that can be in anything they do. It can be in relationships with other people. It can be in their career. It can be with children. They make wonderful parents because they can focus that energy on their kids. And they get cranky if they don't have enough physical attention, right? It's another sign that has great sexual passion. We always think of Scorpios as a sex sign. Well, Aries, yeah, you're pretty good too. Let's just say that. But this isn't for the faint of heart. You might be a fellow fire sign. So the fire signs tend to get along together. The water signs tend to, the earth, right? I mean, it's just how we tend to go. We tend to get along with the ones that have similar energy. So Leos and Sagittariuses tend to get along with Aries because they appreciate that energy. But we can be pretty fiery and pretty hot, so just remember that. An Aries Libra can also be nice because a Libra has that softness, that lovely aesthetic, and sometimes it softens out and balances out that Aries. But if you're a bit more conservative, you like to tone things down. Maybe you're a Capricorn, maybe you're a Taurus, maybe you're even a Cancer. That Aries relationship might be a bit too much for you. Now remember, if you're out there and you're a Cancer in love with an Aries and things are going great, there's other things in your chart that matter. So don't just rely on just one aspect. Okay, Carolyn, I'm hoping to hear back from you. Let me know that you're hearing the sound of my voice, and ask me a question. And again, if you're out there and you'd like me to do a reading for you, what's the number? Oh yeah, 720-386-0513. I've got to memorize that. If you're a Taurus, your Taurus energy, now the Taurus is an earth sign, known for being the most sensual, not sexual, sensual sign of the zodiac. Always go out to eat with a Taurus. If you're going to a really nice restaurant, they thoroughly enjoy food, thoroughly enjoy that experience. They love good fabrics and good smells and good tastes. They can be very, very sensual, light candles, right, for them. They love that. Who are they good with? another earth sign often, so often a Capricorn or a Virgo. But, again, they might be interested in a Scorpio. Why? Because sometimes the opposite sign gives us a little bit of inspiration. Right? So you might have a Scorpio-Taurus mix where the Taurus is the sensuality and the Scorpio is the passion. Might be a lovely mix. What to be wary of when you're in love with the Taurus? They like things slow. They like things stable. So don't expect wild, exciting, changing kind of romantic situations. They like tradition, which can be lovely. But you can see where an Aries and a Taurus might not quite get along, right? Okay, are you a Gemini out there? If you're a Gemini, and you know, we all love Geminis. You guys love to talk and love to share ideas and love new experiences and just love to be sort of wrapped up in life. And you're great. You really are great at doing that. And you love to talk, actually. Often we need to make you be quiet in the bedroom. Who are you good with? The other air signs, Libra and Aquarius. Why? Because there's that dynamic mental. But who could you really be good with? Try a Sagittarius. Now I gotta tell you, I'm an Aquarius, Sagittarius, my Venus is a Sagittarius. I love that Sagittarius energy. Maybe not in a relationship, but I love that energy. Why? Because like a Gemini, it's dynamic. It just keeps exploring and moving. Gemini's your downside, you could be a little flighty, just saying. No insult there, right? A little unreliable, not a big deal. And so you might struggle with a Virgo or a Pisces who's so intuitive and just gets confused by your energy. Let me know. Are you one of these signs? Is there one you're wondering about? Send me a message in Facebook. Your sun sign, your partner's sun sign. Send me a text message for a live reading. I've got the crystal balls. I've got the tarot deck even with me. And the first card I pulled this morning was the Two of Cups, the days about love. Cancer, you're ruled by the moon. You are absolutely some of the most sensitive creatures on the planet. You need to make sure that the person you're with is loyal and trustworthy before you can reveal yourself. You're a lot like a Scorpio that way, and in fact, that is one of the signs you would probably get along with very, very well. Also a Pisces. Again, the water signs tend to get along. I have found with my clients, though, that often when we're only with our same area, all the water signs can get bogged down. All the earth signs together can sometimes feel too weighted down, like they can't really move. And of course, the air signs, we may never find ground again. We may never focus. We may just be sort of flights of fantasy all the time. Like Cancer, you have incredible intuition, incredible psychic abilities, and you know, sometimes what you do need is someone who will help you build a nest. So think about a Capricorn. Think about even maybe a Taurus. And, you know, together you guys might be a little kinky, and that might be kind of fun. Where is it difficult? Aries and Libras, people who like those straightforward. But I gotta tell you, I know some Cancer-Libra combinations that do great together. How? They make sure that they communicate well. Again, their eyes are open when they walk into that relationship. You out there? Are you listening? If you are, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a text, ask for a reading. Let me know which sign you are. I'm just checking. Okay, Leos. Leo. Never forget, Leos rule the jungle, right? They are the kings and queens. They are theatrical. They are dramatic. And we love them for that. If you're going to be in love with a Leo, be prepared for that and be ready to shine the light on them. They, again, do fairly well with Aries and Sag, but I have to tell you, a Leo-Aquarius mix can be brilliant. can be absolutely brilliant. Oh, we have a Virgo out there. Carolyn, you're a Virgo. Okay. Let me get to you. Let me finish Leo, and then I'm going to read for you and read for Virgos. Ask me a question, too. What do you want to know about relationship and being a Virgo? Or about what's going on in your life right now? So you might find that a Leo does really, really well with Aquarius. Less so with a Taurus or a Scorpio. But things at right angles are a little harder for us. One of my best friends is a Leo. And boy, do we travel well together. So remember, sometimes those opposites just attract. Okay, Virgo, Carolyn, this is for you, and then we'll dig a bit deeper in there for you. So Virgo is an earth sign, but it's a very intellectual earth sign. So not every earth sign is about practicality or about being well-grounded. Virgos have a very intelligent sort of driving mind. Yeah, they're kind of practical. Yeah, they're like to have their feet on the ground. But they're the perfectionist sign. They are perpetual list makers. They feel the most grounded when they're stable and paired with another earth sign. Okay, Carolyn, hold that thought and we'll get to your husband in 1 second. Let me just finish this Virgo thing. So Virgos again with good earth signs, but also I say try a Pisces perhaps. Something that helps you open up. Try a water sign. Something that helps you open up a little bit more psychically. Where do they clash? Probably with a Gemini or a Sagittarius. Something heated. Okay, let's take a pause on that. Carolyn, I hope you're listening. Let's see if I can okay, so thank you for tuning in, and I want to tell you that one of your guides just showed up. I don't have your husband, but I do have a guide for you. The guide is pushing me, meaning trying to push you forward a little bit more into life, into embracing a changing future. What your guide is saying to me right now is that life has been, that while you find safety and security in stability and into reminiscing, that the future is where your life is. There is a sense coming from your guide that the fear you have of moving forward is really about, is about perhaps almost like you feel guilty enjoying life forward, but it's just about time for you to think about, if not do it, but to at least think about what would life forward look like for you. How do you take next steps? Getting a very strong sense, and I just pulled a tarot card for you, that you're about to embark on something different and new, probably within the next 2 months. I don't know that that's a relationship. It might be a new career move or just a move, but it feels to me that within a couple months, life is going to open up for you in some interesting ways. And your guides are saying to me they are encouraging you to embrace that, to step forward. I know things are hard during COVID, and that might make it more difficult, and yet they're saying that the opportunities are going to be there. Yes, I can understand that loneliness is so hard, isn't it? But the guides are saying that it's coming, that there's a different future for you coming than the one you have. Let me know, text me, let me know if that makes sense to you, if that resonates, or if you have a further question. And if you're out there and you would like a reading, I actually have my tarot deck with me today, which I rarely travel with, but they wanted to come. I do have my crystal balls, and clearly this psychicness is going because I'm getting spirit guides in the room with me, which is so exciting. So go to Facebook, message me there, the KUHS Radio TV Denver, or the Dr. Lisa Show on Facebook, and or text me here live in the studio at 720-386-0513. And Carolyn, let me know if that resonated with you, if it made sense. Where were we? Oh, well, first off, we're on KUHS Denver, the stream, and I'm Elisa, and it is the Psychic Hour, which would be very interesting if I could do a few more readings. So please, post some questions. How's your Valentine's Day? Are you wondering about that relationship? What is your sign? And are you wondering about how that maxes with your significant other? Okay, Libras, let's get on to Libras. You guys are the aesthetics. You are the artists of the zodiac. You have a beautiful sense of aesthetic. Carolyn, thank you for letting me know that worked for you. I appreciate it. You're also the flirts of the zodiac. Now, I have met Libras who don't flirt, but it's sort of rare. If there's strong Libra in your chart somewhere, you flirt. And you love it. And who doesn't love a good flirt, quite honestly? You actually do well, again, air signs, Gemini and Aquarius, because you kind of love that. As an Aquarius, I have to say, I do love that Libra energy. That the Libras are the ones who take you to a museum, and then for a nice glass of wine, and things are sort of beautiful and romantic that way. So they're lovely in relationship. They do love being in pairs. They love relationships. Who might they also match up with? Why not try an Aries? Try a little fire with that air. See what happens. Or even try a Sagittarius. Try a little fire and find the way that ignites something within you. Ignites something new within you. Okay. Okay, so whoever just texted me, what lies ahead for me this year in terms of relationship, I need a first name to go with that so that I can tune in and find you. So whoever texted me in the studio with what lies ahead in terms of relationships, make sure I get a first name with that, because it did not show me that. And then I can do the reading. Okay, Libras, who can you go with? I think that sometimes Cancers and Capricorns may find you a little frustrating. You know, we all find each other frustrating, but definitely try the air signs and try a little fire to spice things up. Think about air and fire, both of those, right? Air feeds fire. Think about that. And then Scorpio. Let's do some Scorpio, right? Okay, so I have to tell you that Scorpios and Aquarians are not supposed to get along. But I have a Scorpio rising. So again, you have to look at that whole chart. Scorpio is one of the fiercest signs of the zodiac. They're right up there with Aries. Theirs is a deep passion, and they have incredible ability to manifest the life around them because they're just so intuitive. They can talk about themselves in a way and say, this is what works for me, and boom, that just manifests. It's powerful energy. In fact, it's so powerful that at times they can scare themselves. So John, thank you for texting me. I'll get right back to you. What does that mean? They're very, very dedicated lovers, and they can make love feel like your life and soul are connected, because that's how Scorpios go about that. Again, they're not going to communicate with you until they really know. Scorpios, just like Cancers, need to trust. They need to know that you're loyal. They're not going to randomly say they love you. They're just not going to do it, because that's deep. That's a commitment. Almost those words by themselves. So if you're going to be involved with a Scorpio, be prepared for a lot of good stuff, but also for that depth of emotion, for that place that many other signs are afraid to go. Very emotionally intelligent. Who do they get along with? Like I said, possibly these other water signs. Also, maybe, basically the water signs, right? But maybe try a Libra. Maybe try something that balances you out. Then again, sometimes a Taurus, sometimes the opposite sign. I have to say that those squares are fascinating to me. Again, I love Scorpio energy, and I'm an Aquarius. So sometimes those right angles mean something. But think about a Taurus. Think about something that also grounds you down. John, how are you? What lies ahead for you this year in terms of relationship? Whoa, John, you've got some exciting stuff coming in this year. Is there some frenzy going on around you? I have a spirit guide that just showed up that is almost like I wanted to take some deep breaths. I want you to ground your energy. I want you to like end the frenzy, because there's some kind of frenetic energy around you. So let's just sort of settle that down. I have my pure black crystal ball in my hands, because I have that sense of needing to center and calm you. This is a year of a choice for you, is what your guides are saying to me very clearly, that you may have been someone who had more than one relationship at a time, or couldn't decide on what you wanted in a relationship, or something like that. And this is a different year. This is a year when you start to realize that trauma drama doesn't work for you, that the excitement is fine, but when it crosses over into stuff that's a bit more crazy or a bit more frantic, it doesn't really work. The energy around you, oh thank you, your energy's now settling down. I love that. It feels to me that this is a year that you open your eyes, that you open your heart, and you may actually know this person already. There is somebody in your life that you either have just met or just going to meet, but somebody already in your life that is probably going to go from a friendship into something deeper. And it might surprise both of you, but I do think some of it happens when you slow yourself down and pay attention to what's really going on around you, what the world is really like around you. So let me know if you have a follow-up question, and if that makes sense to you. Your guides are really, really wanting you to listen, by the way, to your own intuitive self. That some of this fast-paced stuff you do keeps you away from that inner voice. So let me know if that makes sense to you. Where are we? Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius energy. Well, we're on KUHS Denver, the stream. That's where we are. Talking about love and doing some live readings and talking about astrology and what signs go together. Remember, that always comes with a warning. Your signs may really, really bond, even if they don't seem like they should. Sag is always ready for an adventure. They're always ready to fly away, and this has been a really hard year for Sagittarius. And you may have found that they're traveling regardless of whatever else is going on in the world, because they need to move, they need to travel, they need to open up their minds. Another sign that loves sex, not just Scorpios. This is like the epic sexual adventure. Imagine, for example, laying out a blanket in the field right past where the airplanes take off and watching them take off while you're making love. Now, that's the Sagittarius kind of thing. Something a little bit unique, something thrilling. Sagittarius, like Aquarians, are freedom-minded, and so Sagittarius match very well with Aquarians for that reason. Because of that freedom-minded energy, they also match very well with the other fire signs. So, an Aries might do very well with them. A Leo, they might set, though, a wildfire. And so often what you want is that opposite sign. So an Aries might think about a Gemini, because they balance each other out. And who better to balance than a Gemini, right? Well, maybe a Libra. But again, also think about that Aquarian energy. What is the energy of the sign? Freedom. What's the energy of an Aquarian? Absolute freedom. Might be hard to have a committed relationship where you actually see each other a lot, but then again, you understand each other. You understand something deeper. Okay, John, I'm waiting to hear back from you to see if you have a follow-up question or if that made sense to you. All right, where are we? We are in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sea goat, and while we think of Capricorn as being very predictable, the truth about Capricorns is they can be a little unpredictable, a little kinky on the inside, just a tad. The sea goat, right? I mean, that's kind of unusual. They have a lovely form of ambition, and often the way they show love is by bringing home bringing home the income, being successful at work so they can be successful in the eyes of their family. I think a Capricorn will always say something like, I want you to be proud of me. I want to know that you believe in what I do, that I'm good at what I do. And for a Capricorn, they have to be good at something. If you're a Capricorn out there, I will say that Capricorns can also suffer from a bit of depression. The cure for that is to find something that you enjoy doing and get better at it. Better at it how? Often, you're welcome, John. Thanks for texting me back. Capricorns always do well when they're working with their hands. Could be knitting, could be cooking, could be building, could be engineering, could be fixing bicycles. Doesn't really matter the what, but they use their hands well. So get good at something, Capricorn. You need it. You're also a little like the coyote, right? A little bit of a trickster in there. You may look like you're all business, but not necessarily. Who do you work well with? Again, let's go with the earth signs. Earth goes with earth. But I really think you might like a water sign. You might like a Cancer. Maybe a Scorpio. That might be too much. Probably a Pisces. I have to say that loving, soft, and we'll get to Pisces in a moment, that loving, soft Piscean energy goes very well with supporting and believing in a Capricorn. There's so many examples of that too. I'm sort of thinking of like love stories right now, where it's that Pisces that supports that Capricorn. And gender doesn't matter in here. It doesn't matter which one's which one. But that is a sort of an emotional support that a Capricorn needs. Who might not work, well, let's keep you away from Leos and Aries, because you might find that they might be great friends for you, but yeah, too hot. A little too much fire there. So I'm just checking the Facebook side. I'm hoping you're out there. This is like my last show for a while, so if you're wanting a free reading, you should get in on it right now. Now is the time. And there's still time. I got another good 10, 15 minutes here, right? You can text me at 720-386-0513. You can go to Facebook and you can message me. Okay, let's talk about my favorite sign, obviously, right? Aquarius. Aquarians, oh yeah. What do we like in relationships? Well, Aquarians are highly motivated, highly intuitive in a very, very different way, sort of connected to cosmic consciousness, which is very different than an empathic, intuitive Pisces. The downfall about Aquarians, there's a few. I can out myself, right? Aquarians tend to love humanity, but have a little bit more trouble bonding to people. And I must say, they're not sure what to do with emotions. They can be scary. Not because they're so deep, but because they're kind of messy. Sometimes it's easier to think through things. They might want to talk too much. Yeah, Geminis are like that too. Oh yeah, Sagittarius are like that too. Don't think it just goes with one sign. But emotions just feel a little dirty to Aquarians. They're just not sure what to do. Now again, if you're an Aquarian with a Scorpio moon or a Scorpio rising or a Pisces moon or a Cancer rising, yeah, you've got that emotional stuff going. And you might have an inner battle. So remember, it's an entire chart. It's not just one piece of it. Who are we going to pair an Aquarius with? They do great with Geminis. They do great with Libras. And also, they do pretty well with Leo, the opposite sign. Why? Well, the Gemini and the Libra understand that mental sort of revving that goes on. And that Leo is the opposition, is the is the energy that says there's a way to channel this differently. And Leo Aquarius is beautiful, just like Scorpio, Taurus, just like Gemini, Sagittarius. I mean, just look at the opposite. And it's that opposition that often just serves very, very well in love relationships. In friendships, you can be a lot more sort of open with this, right? We're talking love relationships right now. Where are there difficulties? Probably with Taurus, often with the other earth signs. I had somebody joke with me once that was an Aquarian and she had met a Capricorn and said, I don't know, I kind of felt like I was Dorothy and I had just met the Munchkins, and cute, but nobody wants to stay there, right? I got to go to Oz. So, and you have to imagine that these Munchkins are like, this woman just dropped in here, killed the witch, dropped the house, danced on out of here, and left us to do the cleanup. That can kind of be a Capricorn-Aquarius relationship. And then we have Pisces. Pisces is the most intuitive of all of the signs in the zodiac. Soft, sweet dispositions, very creative, very clairvoyant. They tend to suffer from not asking for what they need. If you're a Pisces out there, ask for what you need, because I know you guys don't. It's just, I don't know, you try to not take up space, I think. You're very open-minded. You do great in lovely other relationships. Pisces Scorpio is probably one of the deepest bonds you're going to find. They do great together. Also with the Cancer. They can also then, Virgo Pisces, opposite, is a very good bond. Can do very, very well there. Where do they suffer? Yeah, maybe avoid those Aquarians and Geminis, right? Just like too much thinking, too much out there. Maybe the Sages, the too much traveling, whereas the Pisces loves the nest and being at home. So a Cancer or a Capricorn, think about, or Virgo, think about those sort of bonding, kind of nesting kind of signs. Okay, so that took me through the zodiac. Where are you? Talk to me. I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message in Facebook and ask me about your relationship. Let's see where you are. Are you an Aquarius in love with a Scorpio? Are you a Sagittarius trying to decide who you actually do love, and that is a Sagittarius problem? Who are you actually going to commit to? Give me a call and let me know. And let me check. You can text me, remember, at 720-386-0513, and you can message me on the Facebook site, The Dr. Lisa Show or KUHS Denver. And I am just going to refresh those sites and make sure I haven't missed any of your messages. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so here's what I thought would be sort of a lovely, because I've got just a little bit more here on the radio. And remember, if you like this show and you would like live psychic readings and you'd like to hear more of it, let the station know. Because right now, we've been doing this once a month, and I think we're going to go to special occasions. Now, if you really would love a reading and you really love to know what your relationship is like, then go to elisarobin.com. And yes, as an astrologer, I can do that. I can run synergy charts, which is your chart overlaying with your partner's chart. I can run a composite chart, which is a chart that's just the energy of the relationship itself. And you can find me, and we can do those for you. I am a professional astrologer. You can find me at elisarobin.com. Robin is spelled with a Y. You can find me on Facebook, Elisa Robin. You can find me on Twitter, Elisa Robin. You can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. And message me. And we can definitely set up a reading. If you tell me that you were following me on KUHS Denver, you get a 10% discount. Maybe more. So, there's still time, right, to talk to me about your specific stuff. So, yeah, get in touch. So, in the time I have left, which is really only about 5 minutes, I want to talk to you about a different tool that I use. Because people seem very confused by crystal balls, by the way I channel, by the way I spirit guides come in. I want to tell you that I started all this by learning to read tarot cards. And I've had people say to me, oh no, tarot cards, dangerous. They're pieces of paper. They're just pieces of paper with pictures on them. And the pictures, it turns out, help us think about myth and metaphor, journeys and pathways in our life. In fact, the cards themselves simply speak to that. Speak to different human emotions and experiences and journeys and ideas and possibilities and potential. Oh yeah, and dangers, and ways we might repeat our mistakes. Tarot cards are a great way for you to start opening up your own psychic senses, because in part that's what I'd love to have you do from the show. I'd love to have you have an experience of listening to that small, still voice within. And that voice can be from your spirit guides, it can be what you call God, it can be from just your intuitive knowing. There are so many ways that we get messages. And why is that important to me? Because so often we rely on the words and voices of others without checking in. How do I actually feel about this? What is the message I'm actually getting about this? Have you ever done that? You've been with someone who says, it's kind of like one of those bad movies, right? Where there's a mass murderer and you go and you hide in the one place, the person on the screen hides in the one place. Or the vampire hunters who always go hunting for vampires at night. Don't they know they should do it like at daybreak and hunt during the day? Like that's when vampires are asleep. Our intuitive self tells us what to do. We have such great guidance, all of us, that we came here with the ability to tune in. My goal from this show is to help you do that, not just give you answers. Yeah, I love doing readings, and I'd love to do your charts. I'd love to help you tune into that part of you, that still small voice, that intuitive knowing. So that if you suddenly get a message in your mind that you should leave a party, or you should change lanes on the freeway, or you should take a different route home, or maybe you should stay home, listen to it. Just listen. If you suddenly get an idea that you should call a friend you haven't heard from in forever, do it. Reach out. Especially now, when people are needing each other more, and we've been so caught up in the confusion of the world. Any of the tools I use and that I can teach you to use are ways to calm the mind. Calm it down and listen to that intuitive self. Listen to your heart. Listen to that voice within. That is the one that will guide you. That's where you will find that you're not swept away in anger or fear, or maybe mistaking lust for love. Though that could be kind of fun, I will agree. But that's where you'll get the answer. Yeah, it's often so good to reach out to someone else and get another opinion. I agree. That's a good thing to do. And yet, if that answer doesn't resonate, if that answer goes against everything that you feel inside you, that's a problem. So my goal is to help you listen to yourself. So believe it or not, I've been chatting with you for almost an hour, and hopefully you got something fun out of this, something really, really fun out of the different astrological signs and how they can dance together and who you are, perhaps a little bit deeper. I'd love it if you go to my website, elisarobin.com, read the first chapter of Dark Fire, my second novel. If you give me some input on it, I will send you a free second chapter so you can get the next piece of it. I have monthly scopes on there. They're called soul scopes. So every month I update them for predictions and, intuition for the month to come. And my blog is on there, and you can read my blog. Oh, and you can schedule readings. You can email me. You can schedule some time to talk with me. So I hope this was engaging and entertaining and fun, and that you enjoyed it thoroughly. And I hope more than anything that you listen to that still small voice within you, that you become empowered and inspired by this show to trust your own intuition, that you listen, you pay attention, and that you know that this is still a time, the doorways are opening for us, and that yes, you too can find love. And when you do, welcome love into your heart and embrace it. Have a great week. I will be back on the Dr. Elisa show on Thursday with an amazing guest, so tune in then. Talk to you soon.